Hey everyone, I know that it's been a little while since I made a video. I wanted to make one to talk about the future for 2018. What are things going to look like with Focus? And there's going to be some slight shifts in the way that we actually do our content. I know last year we did a big long book, the Heaven book. I learned a ton. It was great, but it was trying a little bit because it was a big book and some people couldn't read it. Some people could only come sometimes. People got behind. There was a bunch of different things, which is totally fine and normal. I learned a bunch sort of as the leader of Focus of, okay, some of these things work and some of them don't. What can we do better? And one of the things that I was thinking about last year is, what do we actually need to have in our tool belt as single adults in the workplaces, in the labs, in the teachers' lounges, in the cubicles of life that you guys have in your offices? What kind of tools do you need to talk to people about Jesus and how to filter the culture we live in a way that is honorable to God and in a way that makes sense? And that's difficult sometimes. We're just like, man, the Bible, it just doesn't talk about this certain issue, and so there's a lot of things and a lot of wisdom and a lot of writing and speaking and thinking that other people have done on certain subject matter. And so last fall I sort of administered a survey, and some of you guys wrote down some awesome stuff about, hey, what kind of questions do I have about the Bible, about culture, about just stuff, and it was anonymous, so you guys could express yourselves freely. And it was really interesting. I answered that question, or asked that question, excuse me, and then I asked the question about what are people saying in your spheres of influence, in your teachers' lounges, etc. What kind of spiritual questions do people have? And so you guys wrote down some stuff, and so some of the topics that we're going to be covering this year are going to have to do with the answers that you gave. Not all of them, but I want to be able to help you guys sort of have a tool belt, sort of like how Batman has the belt around him that has all sorts of different fun gadgets and stuff that sort of help him with being a superhero. Well, you guys, you might not dress in black and go out at night, but I want to be able to give you tools that are essential and helpful for where you are in life and the things that you're doing in life and how to filter culture well, and to have questions answered biblically, as well as have questions answered that your friends or your family or your coworkers are asking, or you to be able to have conversations with people and maybe give them a little bit of a different perspective. And so, I know that I am, I am not the person to be able to teach all of these things. For example, Jerry Gillis is going to come and speak to us the 14th, and he's going to be talking about the changing culture of sexuality. So what is trending as far as sex in our culture, and maybe it's the homosexual community, or maybe it's transgenderism, or gender dysphoria, or bunches of things and names and different stuff that we're seeing as adults now that are becoming the norm. How do we adjust to those things? How do we filter those things? What does God have to say about those things? Because we have to deal with them in our culture. And so Jerry's going to come in and talk about that on the 14th. So man, don't miss that. I know that a bunch of you came last year to hear his talk on singleness. This is going to be a completely separate topic, but super important for us to be able to talk and think through. So don't miss that on the 14th. And a few weeks on, I believe, I just want to check, Jim Walton is going to come on the 26th, and he's going to speak. He's an apologist from our area. He's a pastor and apologist, a good friend of mine, but very intellectually compelling. And he's going to talk for 5 weeks. And so none of these things are going to be longer than 5 weeks. But because of the grand nature, I guess, how big this topic is, we're going to talk about the validity of the Bible. And he's going to split it up into 5 different weeks. And so you'll be able to see those down below, what Jim's going to be talking about. And we're going to, Dr. David Drake, our counseling pastor, is going to come in and talk about boundaries in our relationships. And later on, we're going to have people talk about suffering. We're going to have people come in and talk about ethics in the workplace, how we filter some of those things. It's good. I'm not going to put everything on the schedule up front, but we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things. So, man, come prepared with, whether it's questions or just put on your thinking caps to really interact. All of the speakers that are going to come in are going to talk to us like a living room setting. It's not going to be preaching at us. It's going to be helping us be able to filter through the lives that we lead and the people that we have in our lives. And as Christians, we need to be able to think clearly about some of these things. So starting with Jerry and moving on with Jim and Dr. Drake and a few different other people that we're going to have throughout the year, man, I would really love if you guys came and enjoyed learning. And so it's not gonna be like a church service like the previous night, but it is gonna be opportunity for us to learn, and I'm really looking forward to learning myself. So in betwixt and between those different sessions, we've got a volleyball night planned and we've got a movie night planned. So it's not every week going to be like a new topic, boom, boom, boom. We're going to have time to be able to hang out and all of that stuff. So look on below the video. And you'll see sort of what's coming up in the next couple months at least, some topics. So look at that, keep a track of that email, and as things get planned and I sort of release things, then you'll know what we're touching. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Really excited for Focus to start back up. I love you. I hope that each one of you are safe. Have a great time eating lots of saturated fat for the Super Bowl, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right.